I've asked myself this question. Is YouTube hiding my videos in the algorithm? Does YouTube have a problem with my video content? Why are they just not pushing my videos? I can tell you right now, YouTube's not hiding our videos. Now, have things changed over the last year? 100%. I've seen this over the last 17 plus years. That's how long I've been creating online and created my full-time living. And so I've seen a lot of changes, and the algorithm's always changing. A year ago, it was different. Now, the cool thing is YouTube does give us the data. So they're not hiding that, although sometimes it can be hard to find. I'll share with you how to find it here in a second. When we're looking at our traffic sources in our analytics, the first traffic source that's going to tell you if YouTube's actually pushing you is the browse. And if you are seeing in your analytics that you're showing up in browse, that means YouTube's giving you a chance. Now, here's the thing. What I've been noticing is that the first 24 hours, they are doing some pretty aggressive testing. And the way that I'm seeing this, and you can see it as well, is you're looking at your impressions, but then you're looking at your click-through rate. And if your click-through rate is going up and down, it's typically because they're testing multiple audiences. It can go from like an 8.5 click-through rate all the way down to a 1.1. And what happens is a lot of times we panic and then we prematurely change the thumbnail when if we just would have left it, it might have did good in another audience. But that's one thing that we need to look at because YouTube does give us that data. So then you can see, is YouTube in fact like hiding our videos? Are they not showing our videos? And it could be that they're not gonna do any tests or that big of a test until you've uploaded several videos. That could be the case. Now, does that mean that your videos are just done after the 24 or 48 hours? No, but your best chance of them getting the browse traffic, yes. Are you gonna be able to get search traffic later? Potentially. And you could get picked up in the browse later, but there's so much content happening right now that the chances are a lot lower than they used to be. That's why your first 24 hours is probably the most critical, and then up to 48 hours. And that's why we want to have a really good title, because that title is going to get someone, if they see it, to want to click. Same thing with your thumbnail. We all know this, right? Click-through rate, then your average view duration, which I'll talk about that here in a second, because there are some things that we can do to increase our chances for our videos getting pushed. And this isn't perfect, but it's definitely things to consider because YouTube is looking at these when they're deciding to scale your video. Now, if you're wondering how do you find your traffic sources, just go under the tab Reach in your analytics on desktop. And then from there, you're just gonna scroll down a little bit and then you'll see the traffic sources there. And that'll tell you the story because you wanna know, are you showing up in the browse? If you are, that means YouTube is giving it a little bit of push and it also is testing different audiences. And then after 24 hours, you can go back in there and then you can click on the click-through rate tab. And then from there, you can see the different wave of the tests that they've done. And that's just because they're actively testing that audience to see if they can find one that resonates with your title, with your thumbnail. That's the key that they're trying to do. But now, how do we get them to want to push our video? Like, what's holding the video back? This is what I've been digging deep into the analytics with lately. And that is that there are some things, and we have to think about this logically. YouTube wants to serve up videos that serve the audience. They want to give viewers a great experience. That's all that they want. They don't have anything against us. They want that. So how do they determine that? So again, if we think about this logically, what are those things? Well, number one, we have to show up. So we have to have a good title. That's a given. And we've talked about that here on this channel. I've got resources in the description if you want to check those out for better titles. So now once we have our title, the next thing is our click-through rate. So we have to have a good thumbnail. We don't want it to be too busy. We just want to get clicks. So this way here, we show the algorithm, someone saw our video, that's the impression that they give us, and then they clicked on it. And what's the ratio there? From there, we want average view duration. But that means if you have a 5-minute video and someone watches 2.5 minutes, that's 50%. That's really strong, by the way. And just if you're wondering, I've been tracking this stuff for years and lately, but an average view duration of about 35 to 40% is about average. 40% is a little bit above average. So if you can hit that, that shows the algorithm that people are clicking and they're watching. That's the thing. If you have a great thumbnail and you get someone to click, but they don't actually watch the video, that's a bad signal, and then they're going to suppress the video. All right, so that's what we have to think about. We are trying to do our best in the first 24 hours, 48 hours, is we're trying to get clicks, we're trying to get them to watch longer, and then the last piece here is engagement. And it's like, how do you get people to want to comment? Well, you ask them to. So for example, I'm going to ask you right now, how did you find this video? How did you discover this video today? Let me know that in the comments. And what that'll do is that'll also show you that the algorithm is working because it served this video up to you. So did you see it on a suggested video? Did it just show up in your home feed? Or are you maybe a subscriber? See what I did right there? I'm just asking for a generalized question, and then you can choose to leave one. Now, sometimes you don't even have to ask people to comment. They're just going to want to engage. But here's the trick. It's not really a trick. It's just kind of common sense. You need to comment back. You need to take the time to comment back and build that little bit of connection because YouTube sees that connection. I mean, some of this stuff is really common sense when you think about it, but I do believe like past years, YouTube's algorithm was a little bit easier, or it was a little bit more forgiving, but they're constantly tightening it up, especially now with, AI and all of that fun stuff. And so now what they're looking for is they're looking for engagement, and they're looking for people that stick around and watch videos, and they don't just watch the one video, they watch another video. So I'm sure right now, because you're watching this video, mark my words, keep an eye on your home feed. Tomorrow, there will probably be another video of mine in the library that's going to pop up that you're going to have an opportunity to click on if you want to, and you may or you may not. But what that's doing is it's giving YouTube more from me that you've already shown interest in, and then it's going to continue down that path as long as you're enjoying and commenting and liking and engaging with just by watching, because that's another form of engagement, just watching a little bit longer. So honestly, that's what's going on in my eyes. At least that's how I see it. And it does make a lot of sense. Let me know your thoughts on that also in the comments and what you feel is happening with the algorithm and your videos. All right, so I do have some homework for you. It's pretty easy, all right? Just go into your analytics today, go to one of your videos, go to the tab where it says first 24 hours, and then I want you to go into your reach tab, and I want you to scroll down a little bit and look at your traffic sources. And that's going to tell you the story. And then if you want, go to your engagement tab, and then from there, you can look at your average view duration. All the numbers are there, all the metrics are there. And then what we can do is we can learn from that for our next video. And speaking of that, there probably is going to be a video that's going to pop up, if YouTube's doing its job right, that you can click on next, that will probably be something that you're interested in because YouTube knows that stuff. So don't overcomplicate it. Look at those analytics and just make your next video a little bit better.